Yes, now, and welcome back to episode 84 of the Top Load podcast. And this episode is powered by Third Down Displays, your number one spot for supplies, custom stands, and car care. Head over to their website, link in our bio or in the description of this podcast and on our Instagram page. Use the link in our bio or the code TTP10 for 10% off your order. So, obviously, elephant in the room, so to speak. Obviously, we are now officially sponsored by Third Down Displays, and we'd love to say a massive thank you for them to getting on board. Obviously, some of them have been featured quite a bit on here, and always mention it is our number one spot for our supplies, custom stands, as you see in the background, and everything card supplies needed. So they will be coming on very soon. But like I say, a massive thanks to them. So please do head over to the little description below or link in our Instagram to find their link. But first of all, the main man himself has returned from popular request. He's not got the Stony on, but he's got the Spanish cards ready to show you. Mr. ElToroCards himself. Jason, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing all good, doing all good. I don't have Harry here, unfortunately. He's not here to make me laugh. Well, you'll make me laugh, obviously, but yeah, it's a little tradition. Every time we start recording, I always look at him. He looks at me. He's a bit, intermediate, but no, I'm happy to be here. I think I've lost count of how many times I've actually been here. I'm going to say 5.
I think it could even be more than that now.
You've
got third most caps. You are going up the leaderboards.
Who's second?
Would be Harry.
I'll overtake him one day.
To be fair, with him gallivanting all the way around the world, sometimes it's Budapest, sometimes it's Greece, sometimes it's wherever it's going to be. So he has.
Escher.
A funny thing is, he takes international duty to the real thing of, yes, Harry is international duty. It doesn't mean you have to swan off on international duty. You haven't been called up for the Hungarian national team. Your name isn't Harry Puskas, but we're getting
next PC.
We might have to tell him to do something. There's got to be some sort of consequence. I think fancy dresses. I think for the last episode in October, he's got to dress up in a Halloween outfit. I think that's what we're going to have to make him do.
Just as itself. Woo.
But no, obviously, for people who haven't watched YouTube, obviously there was a series that you started about 6 to 8 weeks ago, and it's going to finish up this week of the finale of Road to a Vendor. So obviously, for people who don't know, obviously it sounds quite self-explanatory, but tell the people, like, what was this series idea about? Because I think it's been a really good one for people starting up within or thinking about becoming a vendor.
Unfortunately, it was only 3 episodes long, which I really did wanted more episodes, but it's like most of the cards I was buying was abroad, and it would only essentially be 1 episode that I'm actually going to film to show everything. No, but it was a good little series. I think it's a good little insight of how to obviously become a vendor. Obviously, it's easy, buy a table, but you got to obviously have the cards in stock there. So yeah, filmed the series, done a few episodes talking about what cards I'm picking up, what card I'm grading. Obviously it was for the Southampton card show, which was 2 weeks ago. Not today, but 2 weeks ago, I think. Was really, really good for Card Sales Martin for his first ever show. And I believe there is a second show in next March, so that must have gone well. But I really enjoyed it. But yeah, for the YouTube, I've got a few videos coming out. I think I've been lacking a bit, but I know every month I say I'm lacking, but it will come back. But no, happy obviously to do that little series. I think I'm going to do more. Maybe vendor at another show, maybe London, or I don't know what. Maybe well, I don't know if I'm going Milton Keynes anyway, but hopefully I can do that. But no, yeah, just doing a little series, and I think I'll plan to do more of them and more little series like that. But no, it's really good. I think it's entertaining for you guys. I don't know. Well, if you watched it.
Yeah, we had a conversation quite early when your idea of becoming a vendor, and obviously it was quite a few months prior to the Southampton card show. Like, obviously, for people who don't know, like, it must be quite a daunting / quite overwhelming experience for the first time, because you've got to have the stock already. Obviously, everyone has cards, but not cards they want to make available to sell. So how did you even start thinking about what to do, what to have? Did you think of a certain theme? Because I know some people obviously lean towards a certain era of cards or league or type of cards.
Yeah, no, basically what happened, I didn't do anything. The last week I panicked. Yeah, just essentially buying stuff that, obviously some stuff that I had in my case I wanted to get rid of anyway, but buying stuff, I really wanted to do more vintage. I think I didn't really do a lot of vintage. Oh God, at the Southampton card show, I really wanted to bring a lot of vintage out. I think I had maybe like 25% vintage, which I wanted a lot more. But yeah, no, it was scary. It was scary. I don't. Everyone's probably saying, "Oh, grow up." It's only sit at the table and selling cards. But I feel like you've got have some sort of chat between obviously you and the person that wanted to, buy the cards or just look at your cards. You're not just gonna sit there and be like just in dead silence because I think it makes it awkward a bit, and I don't like awkwardness. But yeah, no, with the stock wise, yeah, essentially just buying in America, the UK, all around Europe, and obviously getting the stock in. I graded some cards. I think I graded 6 cards at SGC, and they arrived on the day, so that was perfect for timing wise. Obviously, Erin at the grading club supplied me with that. Obviously, one of them cards I did well. I'd done a trade, which I think we'll talk later on about it. But no, being a vendor was good. Would I do it again? Yes, but I don't know. I feel like the stock that I had compared to other people, I like comparing myself to other people. It's not good. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But I feel like I needed better stock, maybe like more higher end cards, more lower end cards, and then in the middle. But I think went all right. I think as a show, I think it was one of my favorite shows. But to be honest, I've only been 3 shows: London Card Show, Southampton, and what was South Coast. That's it. Sorry.
I was going to say,
Oh,
for example, you've gone in, like, obviously you've tested the waters now, you've dipped your toes in it, so to speak, of having it at a Southampton card show, which sadly there was other reasons why a lot of people couldn't attend it. Obviously,
yeah.
mainly the train strikes was a big issue. So do you think that was quite a good one to test the water in terms of it's not a massive hectic show like London Card Show where you might have 20, 40 people at your table at one time, that
Yeah.
you can kind of get a feel for what stock levels and preparation for it, then if it's like a show, especially like even the next Southampton, you know how to scale it up potentially.
Yeah, so I think obviously, as you said, the train strikes didn't obviously help. I think there's a guy, I think his name's Pompey something. I spoke to him at the show, and he lives in Portsmouth, and essentially Portsmouth to Southampton's next door. But it took him about 3 hours to get to the thing. So train strikes obviously didn't help, and I think there was another show on that day. But I think for the room and the actual thing I think it was perfect. I love London Card Show. I think they do an amazing job. But with the London Card Show, essentially, if you've got a big bag, you're going to be, playing ping pong. But a lot of people, when I was talking to them, did say that they liked it. That they wasn't bashing into everyone. Only had like what 5 seconds at the table before getting bulldozed by someone. But no, I think it was a very good show. I think the room was very good. I think, yeah, the location was perfect. The car park, you had a Mackie D's literally a 5-second walk. You couldn't complain. You there. And then you had, beer selection was, well, you had Stella. You can't go wrong with Stella. Decent price beer, so that's one. But no, I think for the space wise, it was a lot of space. I think for the next show, I think they're going to be keeping it the same plan, same amount of tables or whatever. But I think, yeah, it was a very good show for the first show that Martin did. Probably must have been a lot of stress for him. And he had a lot of big names going there. Obviously, Harry, who runs the London Card Show, he vended there. Obviously, third down displays going there, and you had all your regulars there. But yeah, it was really good, really good. I think a lot of people, as I said, liked it because you didn't get, pushed left, right, and centre by people, and you actually had time to talk to the vendor, which is, it's nice.
Yeah, I think that's it's going to perfectly go into my next question. Of obviously, because it was, and I won't even say quite a one because that's not the fair wording in my eyes. Because it was quite a show that you could actually talk to people, and I think I've spoke to quite a lot of people, obviously off podcast about this show, and they said it was a good show for really getting to know the people who were vending and also going around as just like normal paying customers. So, did you find that was a massive plus side of this show because it seemed like a very social one of people had time to talk to each other, and I know we alluded it to before about you making trades, but you got to know what other people are looking for as well. And I know obviously this is perfect interlude. Obviously, you got trades done as well. So
yeah,
do you feel like it's a positive experience that you've taken a lot of stuff from it that you can take into whatever card show it may be, or not even just card show, but in generic hobby way of life?
I think with that as well. So obviously being a vendor, normally, well, this is what I did. You talk to other people that sit next to you, see the other tables. But it's like, for example, JW7 Collectibles. I used to only speak to him on Instagram, see him at shows a couple of times, and then we shared the table to vendor. And you get to meet people. I was talking to him. I think Weller's Card, that's his name, Weller's Cards as well. Talk to him a lot, and you create relationships and friendships. And then it's like, for example, if you've been to London, well, I don't know about other shows, but London Card Show, you want to see Aaron to grade your cards. There's normally a massive queue. Everyone wants to see him. Everyone wants to get their card grades. At Southampton, it was easy. Spoke to Aaron, for a couple of minutes. You had time to obviously he does pre-grade the cards there anyway, but he, went for it more thorough because he had time. But obviously, yeah, just going around to other tables, like, in your island, essentially, to do trades. I think I'd done a couple of trades with London. I think it's London Sport Cards. He's got a beautiful collection. Honestly, never spoke to him in my life. Maybe I think once on Instagram. But by then, I spoke to him, a lot of times in that card show. So I think, yeah, the way that it was set up as well with the islands, there was enough space, people to talk to each other. Obviously, I had DGen positive across me. There you go. I can't really say words. No, we had him. We were just trading pints after pints. Yeah. But no, and then obviously had some of my mates there say that obviously Jonas JPR, obviously a regular at card shows, he's really good. But yeah, no, it was a good show to obviously communicate and get to know one another, and obviously see former people. Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I think especially when you're vendoring, people, it's a different experience when you're walking around because it can get very hectic and you can kind of miss table. So obviously, if we actually talk about the stock that you took, because I think that people could be quite interested in this, that obviously, I think the main thing to stress is everyone will be different. It's no doubt that, for example, naturally, if I was a vendor, I would be more leaning towards Arsenal, but more importantly, women's football as well for me.
Yeah.
For you, obviously being more of a Spanish collecting background and vintage one, that you're always you can tell a lot by what someone collects, by what they have on sale at their table. Obviously, not all of it's going to be PC for them because most of that's going to be sitting at home or in their case. So you went into with quite a big variety of stuff from your cheaper, like
different
stuff,
yeah,
to some of your higher rents and slabs as well. So obviously, it might not have been the busiest show in terms of selling and stuff like that, but even in terms of just interest, like gauging interest of what they was looking at. What do you think done quite well for you at the show, or what people were actually interested in?
So to be honest, there was a lot of people that were new to the hobby that went to the show, which was actually really good. Me and JW7, we spoke to a guy that I think was only the hobby for like a month, and he didn't have an Instagram. We told him, get an Instagram, learn about the cards, and we were telling him, what we collect, and it's stuff like that is really nice. But I think what does well is, I think we spoke this on London, one of the podcasts for the London Card Show. Cheap slabs and cheap cards are the best, essentially. I think for my sales, most of the cards were like, from £1 to I think £30. Yeah, the cheaper cards. And I think a lot of people do like raw as well, because everyone likes to, get the card and grade it themselves. Obviously it comes, it's cheaper instead of getting a card that's a PSA 10, it triples the value. So you'd rather just get the graded cards. But no, there's a lot of obviously I had a lot of vintage, a lot of pre-modern, modern. I had a variety. Yeah, I can't speak. But yeah, no, I had a lot of graded cards. I think the stuff, because I'd done mostly trades at my table, I think most of it was raw stuff. A lot of people did like the raw stuff, but no, it was really good. I think there was another person I remember who came to show. I think it was new to the hobby as well, but I remember talking to him, and I think he had quite a bad time. He didn't know what 130 point was. He didn't know what eBay sold was. So obviously, I think 90s Collector Jake helped him out a lot. Obviously, showing stuff like that. So I think that show was obviously for the new people in the hobby, showing them, what to be careful of, what to do, essentially. Obviously not what to collect, but when you're looking at comps, look at this or that. But yeah, no, I think I had type of different stuff on my table, but I think I wish I had a $1, like not $1, £1 box, but I had them laid down. But no, it was a good show. It was a good show.
Yeah, and obviously now obviously, as this comes out, it's obviously Tuesday night. Your video, your last one in the series, obviously, so the previous ones are available as this comes out, which is the build up to the show. And obviously, in this last one, we don't want to give too much away because obviously, then people are not going to go and watch you and give you the lovely views as what everyone absolutely dreams of on the YouTube. But
No, not me. I'm not all about the views.
he's a man of the
No, no, no.
but obviously, do you want to give like a brief, like brief what to look forward to in the actual video, what's coming out?
Well, the Southampton card show one. So I'm being honest, mostly was trades. Obviously you had trade night at the end, which I think I done one trade, obviously with Fora. You'll probably see that on the video. But yeah, selling wise, it went well. I think for selling it went well, but I think it would have went better. But I just think obviously with the train strikes and stuff like that, I think I needed better stock. But for me, honestly, for Bayern was my best show, which I was surprised. I thought London Card Show would be my best show for Bayern, which is probably my second best. But yeah, Southampton, I got really good stuff for trading for Bayern as well. But yeah, no, for the episode, I'm trying to think what's going to be in it. It's going to be good content. Don't be surprised. It's not going to be like multi-million-pound deals and all that. I think there was a lot of big deals happening at Southampton. I think Martin, he obviously likes a bit of Jude. I think he picked up his first year Bundesliga out of 75. Is that the green 75, isn't it? Yeah, number 22, obviously, kit number. I saw someone with a 1 of 1s. I saw 1 of 1 Ronaldo, saw an out of 10 Messi. Like, there are big cards, and I think I did film some of the other people's showcases to show what is obviously on show. But yeah, no, looking forward to obviously releasing that, and obviously there's going to be, hopefully I can do another series, Road to Vendor, for London Card Show or what other card shows I'm possibly going to.
Yeah, that's it, and that leads perfectly into my next one because obviously, YouTube has been a venture that I've actually followed quite closely on the podcast with your multiple appearances over different London card shows and other episodes. And obviously, it has been a bit slower recently, which is just because I think what people don't realise as well is life just gets in the way of you've got to collect the cards, and then also with that, then you've got to put the video videos with it. But for you, how are you finding YouTube? Obviously now, you by the sounds that you're planning to get a lot more back into YouTube. Obviously, probably leading up to the London Car Show in about 7 weeks' time. But so, how you find it so far? That the overall journey, because there might be few people listening to this who are really intrigued or potentially think about starting up a venture into YouTube for the hobby.
I'm literally going to do this right now. I know it's not good timing, but talking about the YouTube, I want to see how much I haven't checked because I've been really busy. I want to see. So I'm on 136 subscribers, which I think when I was at 110, it went from 110 to 136. Like boom, it went straight up. I think because of obviously the London Card Show video done really well. Obviously, Road to Being a Vendor. I think I actually got 2 episodes, not 3. I lied. Obviously PSA reveal. Obviously, I think we've got there's 5 videos in the works that will be uploaded. So there will be content. I know a guy, Kwame Collector. I don't know if that's his name, but I talk to him quite a lot, and he keeps telling me like, when's the next video coming out? I'm bored. I want a new video. I'm like, it's coming. Obviously, I just want we want the best videos, obviously, to possibly come out, which obviously no doubt it will. But YouTube's going good. I want to get back into that stage where I'm like, boom, record, boom, out with the videos. But I would love to do, your mail day videos and that, but it's like most of the stuff I buy is not in the UK. And I really, for me, watching a video, if someone's talking about all the cards they buy and I'm just seeing pictures but not in hand, I'll probably, double tap the screen, skip 10 seconds until there is a card that he's got in hand. So I'd rather do that. It's quite hard. Obviously, I'm thinking of new ideas. I'm trying to get more into vintage on YouTube. I don't think there's obviously a lot of vintage YouTubers out there for soccer. I think there's probably, I'll say 4 maximum. Obviously, you've got El Ray. honestly the go of, I would say, soccer cards. I really would. Ronnie knows some of the stuff he has. It's disgusting. Pele rookies, Puskas rookies, some cards you've never seen before. Obviously, you've got Sports Cards UK, Dan, the GOAT of UK YouTube. You've got Jojo JMS, who has got a lovely collection, including George Best rookies, Mazeas, and then obviously who's the fourth one? Me. I think I had someone else on my list. I think me. I'll put me in the list, even though I've probably got 2 videos doing vintage. But yeah, no, I'm excited to obviously get the videos out. Plan to do that, and hopefully we can reach. What would you say the next goal was? 150 or 200? I'm going to say 200.
Yeah, anything. I think, especially, I think we found it with the podcast that you don't realize how hard it is to jump up the numbers until you're actually going through it. So, like I say, like especially if you're on, you're targeting probably 2 a week. That's what like the schedule was on when you was getting a lot out. If for you, like, do you enjoy it? I think personally speaking, I think some of the best content you make is at the card shows, and I think that's not just for you. I think that's generic for the card hobby.
I think, yeah, like, when you're at home and you're watching someone going to a card show and spending, what, £10 each card or £100 each card, it's like, when you see all these Americans go to card shows literally every day, not even every week, every day, you're like, oh, I want to be there, I want to be there. That's why I think card show videos do so well. And I think, people that can't go, watching what happened, FOMO, they can watch that. But I think, yeah, planning out to obviously get the videos out. I think with YouTube, it's, I feel like I'm a needle in the haystack in the sports cards world, I think, in YouTube. And then a massive small needle in a haystack for YouTube. You got to think how many YouTubes there are, and it's a needle in a haystack. But I think once I find my groove and jam, it'll be essentially it's only upwards unless I get, a scandal or something, which fingers crossed. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, on the scandals, hopefully not.
No.
Obviously, going forward for you, obviously we've spoke. Obviously, you've got 5 videos in the works, which is fantastic to hear. But is there any certain type of content? Obviously, you don't want to give away your trade secrets here. But is there anything like, I know you said before you want to get into vintage, obviously going to different card shows. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to start doing a lot more of? Because I know you've spoken in the past on here about different forms of content in terms of mail days, grading, and different ideas. Is there anything in mind that either you might be doing it already and you want to continue doing it, or something that you might think, actually, you know what, I'd like to do that instead?
Yeah, I think obviously I wanted to do vintage. I think obviously I was talking to you about it a long time ago, doing a vintage series, but I feel like I literally just said that I'd rather have the card in hand. I want to talk about, I think obviously one of my ideas, if Dan or Sports Cards UK takes away my idea, I want the money. But I think obviously talking about, underrated legends of the game that I think, are just like when I was at the card show Southampton, a lot of people didn't know who Mazea was. Essentially, a lot of people regard him. Obviously, you got Maldini, Pirlo, Baresi. A lot of people regard him as the best player, best Italian player to ever, grace football pitch. The San Siro, not Italian, Inter Milan, AC Milan Stadium was named after him. It won 2 World Cups. Not a lot of people know that. So I want to do a video like that. And underrated legends that people do know. I think I was talking to El on Trade Soccer Louis about Kevin Keegan. How many times did he win the Ballon d'Or? 1 or twice, didn't he? Yeah, but no one talks about him. People only talk about him when he was doing that interview in Newcastle.
I'd love it if we beat them. I'd love it.
Yeah, I'd love it if we hit 200 subscribers. That was the worst accent in the world, but don't get offended. Please don't come after me. But yeah, no, I want to do something with vintage. I do love my mail days, but as I said, yeah, it's hard to show you what I bought when it's in the States or somewhere in a Royal Mail carrier. Which Royal Mail, you've been taking your time, mate. You've been taking your time.
Yeah,
held my Ramos hostage for a week. It's supposed to be 48 hours tracked. I'm calling you out.
I definitely would say I think a lot of people have experienced some problems within the UK at the moment with Royal. And that is another positive for card shows because you can just do it there and then. But
exactly.
Yeah, I was just say.
No,
I was going to say the last.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm gonna. Funny enough, I did about 15 minutes from this geezer. I'm gonna just turn up there one time. Oh, well, no, I didn't say that. But no, in terms of the last one in content for you, obviously it's quite a big 6 weeks now for content for you. Obviously, a lot of times the cycle does end with a London Car Show in terms of that's like the big stepping stone.
Yeah.
So obviously you've got 5 videos coming out. You've got other things planned. So are you going to try and is it all going to build up to that big episode again of the London Car Show, which I took a look on your YouTube prior to this coming out just to see how we can do it, and the London Car Show videos do very well for you.
Well, the last London car show that we've been was a month ago. I think more than a month. We've got 456 views, which was amazing. But surprisingly, I don't know how. It's my first ever card show video. So London Card Show is at 1,000 views. It says 1K. It could be 1,400, whatever. But it's 1,000 views, which I'm very, very surprised of.
Very good.
Which there's something that I don't want to do is so looking at just obviously my videos now. You probably see on that screen, yeah, just there. Where my London Card Show video is from then to now. I've released 4 videos. I don't want to have like 4 videos until the next. I want to have like a lot of videos out and then the London Card Show because yeah. But yeah, no, looking at my page, it looks decent. I'm happy with it. But no, happy to obviously release more videos, different ideas, different editing styles, you know. Obviously Ronnie. But no, really, really excited. Obviously to show you my pickups as well. Southampton Card Show, that'll be a good one. But you know, I think with London Card Show and just card shows in general, I do think it's very, very hard to film. And I've said this before, and it's like as soon as you walk into a card show, first of all, you know, you got to record record how it looks like, the layout. But you want to talk to the people you've been talking to over Instagram. You want to see your mates. You want to buy a card. You want to look at tables, but you got to record as well. Yeah. So I feel like every card show before I go, I'm like, I'm going to film. And at the end of the card show, I'm like, I haven't got enough footage. I feel like, and I do, but I feel like I don't have enough footage. But maybe next London Card Show will have too much footage.
Yeah, so obviously for anyone who is not following Mr. ElToroCards, do head
what are you doing?
Yeah, follow us at the same time you're following him, but do head over to YouTube, obviously ElToroCards. Obviously, it'll be link in the description and on the Instagram post anyway. But moving on to some talkative topics, I know one of them that we're going to start with is something very close to you, which is grading. It's just intriguing because I know you do grade a lot of stuff. I'm a self-confessed, I should grade a lot more stuff, but I don't because I'm very impatient and can't wait for cards. But obviously, you do a lot of SGC and PSA. PSA, obviously, yes. I've got to start with one category at PSA. Well, I just
don't say it.
People were going to be interested. So for people who don't know, when it comes to subbing modern and vintage cards with PSA, there's two separate. It's two separate. Yeah. It's not all in one. So I believe the cutoff is 1980 for modern, and prior to that, vintage is 1979, I believe.
1979, yeah.
Yeah. So that A, factual, brilliant. I've actually got something right for a change. But B, for people who don't know, it actually does take longer for vintage than modern, which is natural because there'd be more specialists in modern than there is vintage, and especially some of the vintage. I know that I've seen of yours and some of the other people you mentioned. Never seen them before in my life. PSA have probably never seen them before in their life. So for you and your recent personal experience of grading vintage at PSA, it did take a little bit longer than you was expecting.
Yeah, it still hasn't arrived. It's on final checks, which it's a new little system that because I remember asking you because you know quite a lot about it, and you're like, I don't know what final checks is. I was like, I don't know, but yeah, I think this is obviously the pros and cons with PSA. They do take long time, obviously with modern and that, but when you talk about vintage, obviously being in the UK as well, it takes longer anyway. But I think I submit my Hentos. Let's look because I know when I'll submit them. Over 5 months ago, I feel like it's 6-7 months and they still haven't arrived, which is a bit annoying. No, it is 5 months ago. So I was making up some dates, but I feel like 5-6 months is a very long time. But I think obviously with vintage, as you said, if you've never seen the card before, how how they're supposed to find the date they came from, the set. It's like there was one I sent to SGC, which was La Furia Española Hento. I think, yeah, from PSA, CSG or CGC they are now, SGC. No, it's never been graded. It's never been seen. So I graded it, and surprised I actually did grade it, which was quite good. And I learned some things. It's called the A. Lito Romero, which I thought was quite cool. But yeah, with PSA, I was talking to Louis about this. I'm starting to prefer PSA more, and I think I'm just going to have to, get some patience and just send to PSA. I think some of the cards that just look in the slab. I know, vintage does look good in SGC, and I do, I still stand by that. It does, but PSA, I think, is just on a whole nother level with the stuff. Obviously, it's not nice when you've got, a card size of this, and they give you like an over massive, baseball bat, no cricket bat of a slab, which is not nice. But I think PSA now, I think I'm deciding just to send it to PSA, unless obviously SGC do like 50 cent bulk deal or something, I will. But I think PSA is obviously the way to go. They do take a long time, but I think if you're not selling it, PC, you might as well just wait. I know it's obviously an empty space in your case or in your shoebox where you're keeping your cards, but I think PSA is always the way to go. I think I might send some to CGC just to try it. I know, Ronnie, you're a big believer of their slabs. Very nice, and I believe they are. Obviously, it's just a value that doesn't help it. And that's another thing with PSA. There's always value there. PSA not always been on top, obviously, Beckett, but they're always on top for now.
Yeah, and I think something that you alluded to there was a perfect, the perfect thing I was going to actually talk about was now you've been a vendor and obviously PC, it obviously does affect where you do send a card. It's only natural. For example, for me,
Yeah.
I haven't really submitted because I'm not really selling anything. It's all for my personal collection. I'm even though I should send it off to PSA, I'm just very impatient and I can't be bothered to wait 3 months or whatever it is for PSA value. So that's why I
Yeah.
always lean towards SGC because you can probably get it back within the month. So would you say now for you, obviously there's still some items that have to go PSA, and obviously the higher value items, good rookies, low numbered, people would always recommend sending PSA.
Yeah.
But for you now, obviously if you was looking at vendoring at a show, would SGC be a more liable option for the cars that you're going to go on to sell because of the quick turnaround of it and not having to have money tied up in assets that you might not be able to release for 3 months?
No, I think PSA now, I really do. I'd rather, unless obviously I've got, a month to vendor and, I've got no slabs and that, I will have to do SEC. But if I had a choice, PSA all the way, you're thinking your card, I send in, I don't know, a Jude, for example, this Jude Benham, a Yoki out of 99. Say if I send that to SEC, yes, it takes 2-3 weeks or whatever. But if it gets a 9.5 or a 9, the PSA, I think a Raw does more than the SGC 9 for some reason. Like, there's no love for SGC. And obviously, essentially, if you're a vendor, all you're going to care is the numbers. You're not going to make a loss because it's an SGC, it looks nice, whatever. But I think, sometimes the value of a, 9.5 is higher than a 9, numbers wise. But why does the 9 in the PSA go for more than 9.5 in the SGC? It's really weird. So I think it's PSA all the way for me. Maybe, tomorrow I might think SGC. Obviously Beckett, I have no clue. One thing in America, I realize a lot of people in America sent to Beckett. I think maybe they're still one of the top dogs there. But I think maybe one reason could be subgrades. It's nice to know that your card, the corners, the surfaces isn't, and if it gets a good grade, they just crack it and send PSA anyway. How many people have got, this is no offense to any of these companies, but SGC, MGC, CSG, Gem Mint or whatever, I don't know what, they crack it and send to PSA. So I think PSA is obviously the way to go if you've got time. But if you're running out of time and you need some stuff, that SGC is a nice one to go. But if you look for maximum profit, it's always PSA.
Yeah, I think you've summed that up absolutely fantastically. I think that the condition of the hobby at the moment. And obviously, I speculate, and I think a lot of people are speculating at the moment, that one of SGC and PSA are going to bring down their prices again soon.
Yeah.
If I was a guessing man, I'd probably say within the next 4 weeks, I would expect one of them to go to similar to what they was pre-explosion of the hobby / the pandemic. So around the £15 mark, if not $12 area.
But
So
do you think as well with SGC in America, maybe they use it more? You know, obviously they use PSA the most, but they use SGC more because of the turnaround time so quick. And most of the people in America are flippers. You know, you see them on YouTube, flip. They have a card show every week. So maybe SGC is the best way to go because they can just go boom, boom, boom with lower end cards.
No, I don't disagree. I personally, in my eyes, that's the only reason I ever really side towards SGC is just because I can't be bothered to wait 3 months for a guy. I remember when, for example, I know it's a bit different because SGC don't do tickets, but when I sent my Arsene Wenger ticket off, it took 7 months, 8 months, and it gets to a point where the first
you
2
forget
months,
you have it.
And the first 2 months you're like, all right, fair enough, PSA.
Yeah.
Then it gets to 4, and I was a bit like, well, I really just want this ticket back. Got to half a year, and I was like, yeah, I really need this ticket. Not need it back, but I'm like, you start getting a.
Why does it take so long? You paid for a service, and it just takes longer.
So that's obviously another one to talk about in the long term. But I definitely think SGC is a viable option for a lot of people, and especially people who are flipping to make a quick cash. And I think one benefit of SGC and what people don't really talk about enough is when the set first comes out, get it sent off to SGC straight away and get the maximum profit you can before obviously then people catch up with PSA slabs. Because if it's only SGC available on the market, people will go for a graded card over it raw if it's in an SGC 10. But then obviously 3 months down the line when there's PSA 10s, they're going to side towards the PSA 10 rather than the SGC 10.
But it's like, I think with vintage as well, this is a big factor. Most cards PSA don't even grade. So that's why I think most people do grade with SGC because they actually take on. I bet you if I submitted that Hento to PSA, they wouldn't have graded it. I know they wouldn't, but that's why I think a lot of people go SGC for vintage because they do grade them.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's a good thing as well to always see if you can obviously check the pot reports before you do send off. Make sure that there's some of them sets that have been graded so far, so you're not wasting your own time. And then I'd also recommend, if you haven't seen it on a pot report, do actually email SGC. They're very good at getting back to you and will confirm before sending it off whether they will accept the cards, which is just so much handier than sending it off and then you get the little bit of black and white card with it saying, oh, sorry, we can't grade this one, which I've had on a couple of items. But obviously,
really?
Yeah, I've had it on a few. Like they've said, oh, we've not been able to. There was a Martin Odegaard rookie from Norway they didn't do, and a few other cards. But like I say, it's one of them. Just do your research before sending it off, or even just ask them. But obviously, moving away from grading a bit now because we can talk about grading all night long, and obviously the people want to know. Obviously, your PC does have quite a few additions to here and there. Obviously, we don't want to talk too much about your pickups from the Southampton show, which will be on your videos. But obviously, since the last time you was on the podcast, which was prior to the last London Card Show, have you picked up any really nice items that you want to talk about? Because I know for sure that there's some very nice pieces that you've got.
I'll probably forget about all of them. There's one that I've got here, which obviously was hold fugitive by Royal Mail, but it's finally arrived. So it's the Ramos Black Velocity out of 25 from the 2018-19 Panini Donruss. Really nice to add to the rainbow. I just need the 1 of 1. The out of 5 I've got, but I don't know where it is, but I bought it. So the 1 of 1, the out of 10, the out of 50, and that's all I need for that rainbow. So bought a few Hentos from 1962 Fair, Discra, something like that. It's a green one, and Hento looks really clean. Basically, mostly Hento Ramos. I haven't really bought much else. I think now I'm slimming down the PC a little bit more. You know, when I'm not buying, I don't know, Negredo or something. I don't know. Bought a Davavia out of 99 in America, the 2014 World Cup. I just think every day I'm liking the set even more and more and more. But some of the, I know it's a GOAT set, but some of the prices is like well, I think some of the prices that people wanted, like sometimes it's like I think I was, there's no disrespect to this guy if he's listening or not, I don't know, but a Ramos Chiellini matchups 2014 out of 99, he wanted like I think $70-80. I'm like, it does not go for that. It's cheaper. What else have I picked up? You could probably name more than I can because I just sent it to you. I think a Kavica Karis. How do you Kavica Karislava?
Close enough.
Yeah, one of them. So I bought the out of 99 rookie ticket. Obviously, that got traded for something. Do I say it?
Keep it for the
No.
video. If you want to know
Yeah.
what you got in the trade, make sure you check out the video when it does come out, because I can say it is a very nice item for the PC.
To be honest, I didn't expect to actually pick that up. I just think it would have been in my price range, but obviously trading works magics. What else have I picked up? You could probably name more than me. I know what I need to pick up is a new case. My case is full. I think I have to resort to Louis' Prada box to store my cards. But no, obviously been buying suppliers, been buying a few more vintage. Yeah, just been buying the same old stuff, really.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect thing. Obviously, we're talking about the future for you and content creation and shows. And so now it's got to be the question. I know we laugh and joke about all your different PCs, but I feel like since the last time you've gone, you've really reframed it to really focusing on obviously Hento, legends in vintage, but then also Spain as in a general PC, which I think is a fantastic PC. So is there anything, obviously, you just briefly mentioned 2014 World Cup Prism. Is there anything else in particular as well you're looking at collecting? So I know you've picked up some really nice autos from Spanish players as well recently.
Yeah. Have I? I have. Oh, yeah, jeez, I have. Yeah, sorry. No, because I'm trying to remember. I just go blank. But no, so if I had to pick the main piece, I think it would be either Ramos or Hento. I think I'll put Ramos above. I'll put Ramos Hento. Messi's a PC, but I think the reason why I would say no because it is expensive. So whenever I have the opportunity to pick something up, I will. But he's not priority. What else? Spanish Legends. I picked up a Puyol National Treasures on card 25, which I thought was amazing. Puyol doesn't really have a lot of stuff. If Puyol was in 2014 World Cup, I would be doing that rainbow instantly. I like. It's really weird that I prefer him over Ramos sometimes. It's really weird, and I should be collecting Puyol and Ramos, but yeah, no. Obviously, got some Cesc Fabregas, Santi Cazorlas, just the Spanish national team, David Villa's. I think that 2008 to 2012, was the era of Spain. Most dominant, footballing country in that time. Obviously, winning 3 titles. Well, yeah, just literally anything Spanish, anything that touches Spain is in my case. But yeah, vintage wise, I picked, obviously this was a long time ago. I picked up this Vieira, Rivera, not Vieira, Rivera. Obviously that's his second year. Picked up a Mazea, so picking up more vintage stuff. I want to still do that. I want to pick up some Puskas, but obviously I've got to get permission from Louis because he does PC him. But it's like, for example, I know we're not talking about grading, but some of the Puskas stuff that he had in SGC and PSA. So he had the same card, SGC and PSA. PSA looked so much nicer. It really did. So just focusing on Ramos and trying to get my PSA sub back, which is on final checks again. Got a lot of treble, got Ramos treble, obviously pumping that out. Got the out of 25, 49, 75 there. I've got actually there's a player I literally forgot. It's really bad. Sergio Ribas. Obviously I think he's doing well. Obviously not as well as Jude Bellingham, but I think 8 goals, 4 games. 8 games, 4 goals for a player that was playing in the academy and in the 3rd league of Spanish football, and scoring against Real Madrid and Valencia. A good player. So he's currently going up in price. So, but trying to make a deal with him. I think I'm trying to do a deal for his Stadium Club Chrome out of 4. But yeah, the guy wanted double the price. So no.
And lastly, our new segment, what we do whenever a guest comes on, is obviously we set a few challenges or goals to meet by the next time you appear on the podcast. So obviously, we've already mentioned one of your goals is 200 subscribers on YouTube. Is there any other targets you'd like to set? Obviously, we'll revisit that the next time you're on to see the progression over whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or however much it is. So is there any other targets you'd like to set apart from the 200? Even could be a number of videos you want to bring out, but like per week or something like that.
Stop sending my money. That's what. No, I had the reason why I'm not being rude. I'm just looking at my phone. The reason why is because me and Ronnie and Lewis and I think Harry as well. We done like a little New Year's resolutions. So I think some of the stuff on here. So obtain 100 subscribers, done that. So that's the challenge done already. We've got a feature on the Top Loaded podcast.
Right.
That's done. Reach 1K on El Toro Instagram. There's a few that I want to do actually. Is find so I think this will take a long time. Is find out Hento's true rookie because I feel like he's got about 4. So he's got the Ruiz Romero, he's got the Bruguera, he's got the there's another 2 that I think that he's in. It's like I honestly don't know what his rookie is, which is a bit annoying. So maybe find that out. And I don't know actually. Let's see. Maybe yeah, well, have every Hento and Hento card or sticker from every year. So from 1953 to 1971, which I'm pretty much nearly done. So I'll say them my 2.
Well, we'll definitely be revisiting that the next time you're on. But obviously, for anyone who doesn't, please head over to YouTube and also Instagram. Follow
Please.
Get his subscribers up, and then also look forward to a brilliant Southampton card show video coming this week, as well as a lot more content. But Jason, yet again, thank you for joining us on another episode of Top Load Podcast. I think you're near enough closing in on some sort of reward or something for coming on this amount of times, because you get more punishment being in prison for murder than spending this much time on the Top Loaded Podcast. However, thank you so much. And obviously your links are down below. And we wish you all the best for the YouTube venture. And no doubt you'll be on here very soon.
Bash.
That is probably the catchphrase of his channel as well. But like we say, thank you to the guys over at Third Down Displays for powering up this episode for you. And obviously head over to the link in our bio or use the code TTP10. That is TTP10 for 10% off any of your orders on there. Go grab yourself some lovely supplies and even some of the fantastic custom stands. But until next time, hope everyone out there is staying safe, doing well, but most importantly, trading, buying, selling, and all that good jazz. But most importantly, happy hobbying and good night.